my Lynn Spoons, Looney Spoonie here, and welcome to the channel where we are unfiltered, unafraid, and pain recognized as pain. So, I've made 2 videos so far, and let me preface this by saying I've recorded this yesterday. Business happened yesterday. My husband went on a bike, because I don't record while they're here. They could hear something. The house is small. So my husband went on a bike ride, and I'm like, I'm going to hurry up and get this ready. I kid you not, the moment I started getting into the swing of my things, I hear the dog bark and his truck pull in. And like, if I can insert the video, I will, because I look disgusted. Cut to an hour later, him and my son are kayaking. I come back in here to try to make the video. Probably 15 minutes after they leave, I hear the truck pull up again, and my son comes in because he forgot his sunscreen. They said at dinner last night, I asked my husband, what did Tyler say when he came in to get his stuff? And my husband was like, he said you were not happy. People, I was not happy. Let me say, I was happy that my son came back to get his sunscreen. Good boy. But I was not happy to be interrupted. And then I got to the end and I went, no, this is a disservice to people. I'm not happy with how this video is. So I wanted to come back in and I wanted to really shoot what a Spoonie is. Are you a Spoonie? Am I a Spoonie? Because I've shot 2 videos right now. I've got 2 videos uploaded right now. And my husband and my son looked at me and they said, you've never told anybody what a Spoonie is. And my train of thought was, if they're watching a video that has Spoonie in the title, they must know what a Spoonie is. No, that's not true. That's on me. I missed it. Because I remember when I first started deteriorating, I started joining sites, chat groups and support groups. I was just joining Ankylosing Spondylitis chat groups, or Ankylosing Spondylitis support groups, or Fibromyalgia support groups, or Ehlers Danlos support groups. I was trying to take advantage of all these different support groups to figure out if what I was going through was the same thing that other people were going through. And while I was in there, I kept seeing all this spoon stuff. Women would show off their spoon rings, like the little end handle of a spoon in a ring, or necklaces, or earrings, and it was Spoonie this, and Spoonie this, and spoon, spoon, spoon. And I'm reading and I'm like, what the fork do spoons have to do with anything? It's because of the spoon theory. And in my last 2 videos, and in every video, I will link the article that I found when I was like, okay, I need to figure out why everybody is talking about these frickin' spoons. And I Googled it, and I actually stumbled upon, I didn't stumble, the first thing that popped up was Christina's article. Christina was the original girl who wrote the paper in 2003 on the spoon theory, and it was born out of a necessity to explain to her friend how chronic pain and chronic illness affects us as opposed to the rest of the world, the energy that it takes for us, the effort that it takes for us, what we're feeling inside that you don't see, that the rest of the world doesn't have to worry about. Because there's no easy way to explain it, there's no eloquent way to explain it, there's no poignant way to explain it. You're stumbling over your words. You're like, well, I feel like this one day, but I feel like this the other day, and every day I feel like this, and it's just pain, 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 and it's, my mind is, you know, going a million places, and sometimes I'm on the edge, and sometimes I'm not on the edge, and how do you explain that to people? And when you do explain it to people, they're not going to really, truly understand. And that is something that I did learn with the spoon theory, and something that I think moving forward, if you use this to explain how you're feeling to other people, just know that the reactions you want might not be the ones you get. They might understand, but they are never, ever, ever going to truly know. Nobody is going to truly know unless they're a Spoonie with you. So, without further ado, let's get into what's a Spoonie and are you a Spoonie? Hang on, I'm going to be right back. Before we get into this, can we just acknowledge how it's a bad day and how terribly... I mean, first of all, I've got a hole here, and then I'm looking at the monitor. Look at all these bumps. Oh my god. There's a whole strip of hair I didn't even put in this bun. It's just hanging out here. We're not even going to worry about it. We're just going to put it back there, and we're all going to pretend like we didn't see it. So, a Spoonie. Basically, to make this as reductive as possible, a Spoonie means explaining the amount of effort or pain it takes for you as somebody who's chronically ill to move through daily life when people who are not chronically ill or are not in chronic pain don't have to worry about it. And if you read the article linked in the description box and every description box, Christine was actually at a diner. She was a college student with lupus, and her college friend kept saying, what does it feel like to be a Spoonie? Or what does it feel like to be chronically ill? And she went into medication and pain, and she's like, no, but what does it feel like? That's a good Spoonie friend. Somebody who really wants to know, that's a good Spoonie friend. And I'm going to do a video on Spoonie friends because it is a very important thing when you have chronic pain and chronic illness to find the things that are not only not bringing you joy, but are bringing you more pain, and to exercise them from your daily life. Soapbox, I'm down, Spoonies. So the reason that it's called the spoon theory is because while Christine was at the diner, she was looking for a way to show effort. And what she did was she grabbed spoons. She grabbed a bouquet of spoons and handed them to her friend, right? And her friend was so excited. Basically what it means is this is your energy for the day. Right here I have, you can't see it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spoons. We're going to use 6 spoons. This is your energy. Now, when you are a Spoonie, you have to think and plan for this. You have to know exactly how many spoons you have and how you can plan your day out for that. When you are not chronically ill and not chronically in pain, unless you're doing something completely taxing, unless you're running marathons or Ironmans or working out or certain thing, even if you're working out, usually you do not have to plan the amount of energy that you have. And at the end of the day, you're going to go into the next day with the same amount of energy. So as a Spoonie, you have this much. And if you do this with somebody else and you hand them the bouquet of spoons, the first question you should ask is, what do you do in the morning? You wake up, what do you do? And they'll probably say, well, I wake up, I get out of bed, I brush my teeth, I get dressed. And at that point, no. You're like, oh wait, you got out of bed? That's 1 spoon of energy. That's gone. Because if pain didn't wake you up, which most of us know it does, multiple times throughout the night, if you were blessed enough to wake up naturally or by an alarm, you still have to assess your body. You still have to figure out how you're going to get your booty out of bed. You're going to look at your clothes on the floor. If you were so exhausted and so much pain that you threw them on the floor, you now have to figure out how to bend down and pick them up. I personally keep a command hook on the wall beside my bed. I try to remember to take that little bit of time to hang my clothes up so that the next day I can just grab them down. And then you're like, okay, and you take a shower and you get dressed. Gone. That energy's gone. And you have to make yourself breakfast, okay? You've got to eat because you have to take your medications, right? We can't take all our medications on an empty stomach. What are you going to do? Even toasting a bagel. We haven't left the house and we're down to 3 spoons, right? We haven't left the house and we're down to 3 spoons. So now you're starting to get the picture of understanding what's going on. And what happens is you go through the day and you say, I went to work for the first half of the day. I drove myself home. I have one more spoon now. Now I need to decide, do I make myself dinner? Because once again, I have medications to take, but if I make myself dinner, I can't clean the dishes or take a shower for the next day or pick out my clothes or make myself a meal. Basically, I eat and I'm done. But those things have to be done, right? You can't just eat and do nothing. So you waste your last spoon, and then you do the dishes or something else comes up and you have no spoons to give. And now you're going into a deficit. Now you start tomorrow with not 6 spoons, but 3 spoons. This is how the spoon theory was born. This is how the spoon theory works. It's a really poignant way of showing people that we have to plan it out. And even when we have to plan it out, usually we are functioning at a deficit at all times, because sometimes we don't wake up with 6 spoons even if we didn't go into a deficit, because the night of sleep we got the night before was about 3 hours of restless, painful thrashing or bed hopping from bed to couch to chair to bed to couch to chair. So it's not the sleep that you should be getting if you are ill, you know? There are things when you go to the doctor and they say you're sick, you need to get fluids, you need to get rest, you need these things that you do not get, and you need to eat. And these are things that you do not do when you're a spoonie, or things that are very hard to do when you're a spoonie. So, the question, are you a spoonie? Are you chronically ill? Are you chronically in pain? Do you have chronic fatigue syndrome? Are you sick in a way that makes you feel isolated and different from others? Nobody is going to descend from the heavens and knight you with a handicap parking permit and a handful of pills and, you're a spoonie. That's not how it works. Being a spoonie is how you feel inside. Are you ill? Do you need others to help you? Are you looking for a way to explain things to other people? But if you're questioning if you're a spoonie, I'll go ahead and tell you, you're a spoonie. If you're questioning whether you are ill enough or sick enough or tired enough or sad enough, you're a spoonie. And you're part of this community. So don't worry about wondering if you belong or if you don't belong, or if you're a spoonie or not a spoonie. If you're chronically ill, if you go through the rigors of trying to move through life as somebody who hurts all the time, who is exhausted all the time, who is in so much pain that they can barely string 2 words together. If you are ill and you are wondering, am I a spoonie? The answer is yes, you're a spoonie. And you are invited into our beautiful world, into this community where pain recognizes pain. So I'm going to leave you at that. Just know that pain recognizes pain, and I see you. I love you.